promised, Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Is it worth the hype? When I heard that the Modern Renaissance palette was coming out, I automatically thought, oh God, it's gonna be another limited edition palette. And while I really wanted it simply because the shades in here are very warm, I was like, I'm gonna skip because I just can't. Like, there's no sense in me buying makeup at this point where my channel is. There's no sense in me buying makeup just for having it when it's not really going to benefit my channel, or it's not going to be something that's educational for me to, you know, produce or publish. And so when I found out that it was permanent, I was like, I think I can get on board with this. And sure enough, I ordered this palette from Ulta, and I haven't been this inspired to create makeup looks in a really long time. I've been keeping up with like makeup that comes out, you know, not necessarily purchasing it, but finding out about it and seeing if anything really tickles my fancy. And nothing really has gotten me very, very excited. I mean, it's makeup, obviously, and makeup makes me happy, but I mean, really excited and creatively motivated. It's been a while. So I was seeing swatches and everything on this palette, and for some reason it just, to me, it seemed almost like a boring palette. And I was like, well, are there really that many possibilities that you could create with this palette? Really, how much juice can you get out of it? And you guys, I mean, there's so much that you can do with this palette. So what we're gonna do is we are going to talk about it, break it down, show you some swatches, and let you know, in my opinion, why I think that it is absolutely, definitely worth the hype. So starting off, it comes in a beautiful blushy rose, mauvey type velvet packaging. So I don't know if you guys are gonna be like, oh, it's gonna get dirty, it's gonna get smudgy, it's gonna get eyeshadow powder on it. I've used mine a bit. You're gonna see some of my eyeshadows have a little bit of a dent in it already. And it hasn't gotten dirty yet. So it might be one of those like velvety felts that kind of kicks off things. It doesn't really hold on to it. So there's that. The other thing is that it comes with 14 different eyeshadow shades. So if you guys can tell, there are 14 colors, and they're all pretty warm shadows. I guess I could argue that this shade right here, I think it's called Buon Fresco, is cool, but pretty much everything else in this palette is pretty warm. Now, Claudia, Anastasia's daughter, designed this palette inspired by the Renaissance period and the art at that time. So she did her research, she did a really good job, and if you see a lot of the paintings of the Renaissance era, I mean, she pretty much covered all her bases. So there's that. This palette retails for $42, which is a pretty steep increase from previous palettes like this one. So in previous palettes that she did, I think she had like a Lavish palette, the Tamana palette, the Amrezy palette. There's several palettes that she's come out with that are all limited edition, and they have a variance of anywhere from 10 to 12 or 14 shadows. And almost the same amount of product. So for example, the Tamana palette has 0.25 ounces of product. This one has 0.28 ounces of product, so very close. But the Tamana palette retailed for $29, and this one costs $42. So you guys can tell between one generation to the next in production, it increased a lot in price. But another thing to consider is that this is a permanent product, so it's not a limited edition product. And another thing that I'm like considering or thinking about is I feel like the formula of the shadows in this palette are very similar to the single pans, and they don't remind me so much of, say, like the Lavish palette, which is something that I had in my collection. The formula of those shadows wasn't ever awful, but it wasn't similar to this one. So I was pretty impressed with the formula of these eyeshadows because they're very soft, they're not chalky. They do have a little bit of kick up. I think that's what it's called, like, you know, loose powder. But I think it's because they're so saturated in pigment that you're gonna get that softness in the actual shadow. Plus, if you guys have been watching me for a minute, you guys know I'm an absolute beast when it comes to powder products. I'm pretty aggressive with them, so it's one of the reasons why I have a little bit of trouble really fanning and loving like Lorac shadows. I love the the pigment and everything of Lorac shadows, and I love the compilation of colors, but sometimes I just get too messy and I don't even want to deal. With this one, I'm having a little bit of that issue, but they are creamy matte shadows, so it's so easy to clean up. Like, it's so easy to clean up my tabletop, it's so easy to clean my face. It doesn't ruin my foundation, which I love. Now let's talk about the finishes in this palette. Now, finish is different from the actual color in this palette, so there could be one called an ultra matte, but it can have a sparkle in it. So finish is the base of the actual eyeshadow, and that took me a while to understand when it came to this palette. So in this palette you have 14 shades, but 12 of the shades are ultra mattes. You have one satin finish and one ultra metallic finish. So starting from the top left to right, the first color is called Tempera, and that is considered a velvety beige with an ultra matte finish. Then we have Golden Ochre, an earthy yellow with an ultra matte finish. Then you have Vermeer, an iridescent shell with a metallic finish. Then we go to number 4, or Buon Fresco, and that's an antique lavender with an ultra matte finish. And that's the one that I told you guys, that's the only cool tone in this palette. Then we have Antique Bronze, which is a metallic sable with a satin finish. Then we have Love Letter. Love Letter, you guys, it's the one that I have on the halo portion of my eyelid, like the inner and outer portion. Love Letter is magic. It is beautiful. It's considered a raspberry with an ultra matte finish. Then we have the last one on the top row, and that is Cypress Umber, and that is a dark coffee with an ultra matte finish. Moving on to the bottom row, oh, the colors down here, you guys. Raw Sienna is what I have as my transitional shade, and Raw Sienna is a neutral amber with an ultra matte finish. Buttery, delicious mattes in this palette, like really creamy. Then we have Burnt Orange, and Burnt Orange is a deep orange with an ultra matte finish. Then we have Primavera, and Primavera is considered a shimmery gold dust with an ultra matte finish. I think this is the only eyeshadow I have an issue with, and it has nothing to do with how it performs. It's a shimmer shadow, like it's a metallic-y shimmer shadow, and it says it's an ultra matte finish. I'm wondering if that's a mistake, because is that matte to you guys? I don't think so, right? And then we have Red Ochre, and Red Ochre is a sienna with an ultra matte finish. Then Venetian Red, which is a color that I used in my previous tutorial using this palette, and that's a crimson with an ultra matte finish. And then we have Warm Taupe. I love warm taupe shadows. It's really difficult to get a really nice creamy warm taupe. I think most of the time it's like a cool tone taupe, and those make me look really washed out, and they're just not flattering at all to me, not even as a contour shade. So Warm Taupe is described as an earthy gray with an ultra matte finish, and the last one I probably won't pronounce properly or correctly. That's Realgar, and that's a brick with an ultra matte finish. And this color here is actually what I have on the crease portion, like on the innermost portion of my crease. That's the color that I have right there. So despite the price increase, I believe that the formula of these eyeshadows is absolutely superb. I really, really liked it. Now, if you guys are like me and you're kind of aggressive with powder products, or you're a little bit more I don't know, I mean, you do makeup with purpose, you might find it a little bit annoying to use, because you're definitely going to have some messiness with it. But like I said, it's not like a clingy eyeshadow, and it's not sparkly, they're not glittery, so it's going to be very easy to clean up. I did this eye look with my foundation already done, and it didn't mess up any of my face makeup. Like any of my complexion, it didn't mess it up whatsoever. I just took my powder brush and did a quick swipe, and boom, problem solved. So all in all, if you're looking at like you know, is it worth it based on price, based on performance, based on quality of the shadows? I would say yes. And it is a permanent palette, so it's always something that you could think about, or it's something that you could save towards. This palette is available at Sephora and Ulta, and you could also find it on the Anastasia Beverly Hills website. So I feel like maybe I grew attached to this palette because it kind of reignited that creativity when it comes to makeup. And I also love the fact that it is a permanent palette. So you're not gonna get that stress like, oh my God, I can't get it because I'm at work, or oh my God, it's sold out already. I have to be at Ulta when it releases in store. I'm gonna be outside the store waiting till they open. You know, you're not gonna get that anxiety, and I could really appreciate that. So I guess the only concern or area of concern with me is the price increase, which is, it's kind of a big price increase from previous palettes that they've done. And then the softness of the shadows, but I would much rather have a soft pigmented shadow than a stiff, you know, really hard, patchy, chalky, or colorless shadow. Oh, and I guess the last thing I could mention is that it comes with a little brush, and I actually used it for the first tutorial that I did when I did my first eye, and it was okay. I mean, it's not a crappy brush. This isn't one of those brushes that you get the palette and you throw it away. Like, you could actually keep this brush and use it. So that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. What I'm gonna do is I will link 2 tutorials in the description box below where I use this palette to create this look, and then a look that you've probably seen in my previous videos recently. So I will link both of those tutorials in the description box below, and I will also link this palette at whatever retailer I can find. I know some of you guys like international can't order from Ulta, but I think that Sephora does ship internationally or is available internationally. Regardless, I'm gonna link the palette in the description box below in case you guys wanna find out more information or learn about ingredients. Oh, and the last plus of this palette, it's a cruelty-free brand. So if that's something that you look for when you shop, hey, it's cruelty-free. So anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And like always, if you found this video useful, entertaining, or learned something, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe